The RMS Titanic, a marvel of Edwardian engineering, represented the pinnacle of luxury and technological achievement. Its sheer size dwarfed all other ships of its time. Boasting opulent interiors and state-of-the-art facilities, it captured the world's imagination. The Titanic was more than just a ship, it was a symbol of human ambition. Its passenger list included some of the wealthiest individuals of the era, alongside immigrants seeking a new life in America. The Titanic's crew, numbering over 800, worked tirelessly to ensure the smooth operation of the ship. Captain Edward Smith commanded the vessel with confidence and authority. The Titanic was a floating city, a microcosm of society. The Titanic's departure from Southampton was a grand spectacle witnessed by thousands of onlookers. As the Titanic sailed away, it embarked on a journey forever etched in history. The first few days of the Titanic's voyage were characterized by an atmosphere of tranquility and excitement. Passengers settled into their routines, enjoying the ship's luxurious amenities and the company of fellow travelers. The weather was calm and the sea was smooth, creating a sense of serenity and security. Passengers strolled along the decks, taking in the fresh sea air and the vast expanse of the ocean. Social gatherings and events filled the ship's schedule, providing ample opportunities for passengers to mingle and socialize. First-class passengers attended elegant dinners and dances, while second-class passengers enjoyed concerts and games. Third-class passengers, despite their more modest accommodations, found ways to entertain themselves, sharing stories and songs from their homelands. The ship was a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds, fostering a sense of community among its diverse passengers. The ship's officers and crew maintained a vigilant watch, confident in the vessel's unsinkable reputation. The Titanic was equipped with the latest navigational technology, and its double-bottomed hull was designed to withstand even the most severe collisions. The ship's luxurious accommodations, impeccable service, and lively entertainment provided a memorable experience for all on board. The calm before the storm, however, was a deceptive prelude to the tragic events that would soon unfold. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic sailed into an area known for its iceberg activity. Despite warnings, the Titanic maintained its speed. The lookout scanned the horizon for danger. The moonless sky made spotting icebergs difficult. At 11:40 p.m., a large iceberg was spotted. The alarm was sounded, and evasive action was taken. The Titanic's size made it difficult to maneuver. The ship grazed the iceberg, tearing gashes in the hull. The impact was felt as a slight shudder. The damage was severe. Water flooded the lower compartments. Thomas Andrews concluded the Titanic was sinking. He informed Captain Smith that the ship had only a few hours. As the Titanic began to list, the order was given to prepare the lifeboats for launching. However, there were not enough lifeboats for all the passengers and crew. The ship's designers had believed that the Titanic's size and multiple watertight compartments would make it virtually unsinkable, rendering a full complement of lifeboats unnecessary. The evacuation process was chaotic and disorganized. Many passengers were reluctant to leave the seemingly secure ship for the small, open lifeboats. Others, realizing the gravity of the situation, rushed to secure a place in the limited number of boats. Women and children were given priority, but even this rule was not consistently enforced. The scene on deck was one of panic and desperation, as passengers and crew struggled to cope with the impending disaster. The lack of lifeboats created a sense of despair and hopelessness among those left behind. Families were separated, and loved ones were forced to make agonizing decisions. The cries of children and the pleas of mothers filled the air, adding to the sense of tragedy and heartbreak. As the Titanic continued to sink, the angle of the deck increased, making it increasingly difficult to launch the remaining lifeboats. The lifeboats, lowered into the frigid waters, offered a precarious refuge for those fortunate enough to escape the sinking ship. As the lifeboats pulled away from the Titanic, we witnessed the horrifying spectacle of the ship slowly disappearing beneath the waves. The cries of those left behind echoed across the water, haunting us. The conditions in the lifeboats were harsh. Many were overcrowded, and the passengers were exposed to the freezing temperatures and icy winds. Some boats were equipped with limited supplies of food and water, while others had none. We huddled together for warmth, praying for rescue. As the night wore on, the survivors watched in disbelief as the Titanic's lights flickered and then vanished beneath the surface. The once magnificent ship, a symbol of human ingenuity, was now a watery grave. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the sobs of the survivors. The final moments of the Titanic were marked by a sense of eerie calm. As the ship's stern rose out of the water, the propellers were exposed, spinning uselessly in the air. The ship's lights, still burning brightly, illuminated the surrounding waters, casting long, ghostly shadows. The scene was surreal, a nightmarish vision of a once proud vessel succumbing to the forces of nature. The Titanic's final plunge was swift and dramatic. The ship broke apart, its massive hull splitting in two. The stern section quickly disappeared beneath the waves, followed by the bow, which plunged vertically into the depths. The sound of the ship breaking apart was a deafening roar, followed by an eerie silence. The survivors in the lifeboats were left in stunned silence, witnessing the final moments of the ship that had carried their dreams and aspirations. The ocean, once calm and serene, now held the remains of the Titanic and the souls of those who had perished. The Carpathia, a nearby ship that had received the Titanic's distress call, raced to the scene. The sight of the Carpathia on the horizon brought a glimmer of hope to the weary survivors. The Carpathia's crew worked tirelessly to rescue the survivors from the lifeboats. They provided blankets, food, and medical attention to the cold and traumatized passengers. The survivors were overcome with emotion as they boarded the Carpathia, grateful to be alive. The Carpathia's arrival marked the end of a harrowing night of survival. The survivors, huddled together on the deck of the rescue ship, shared stories of loss and resilience. The magnitude of the tragedy began to sink in as they learned the fate of those who had not survived. The Carpathia, now carrying the burden of the Titanic survivors, turned towards New York, a city that awaited news of the disaster with bated breath. The news of the Titanic's sinking sent shockwaves around the world. Newspapers published headlines proclaiming the unsinkable ship sinks, capturing the disbelief and horror that gripped the public. In the aftermath of the tragedy, inquiries were launched to investigate the causes of the disaster and to identify measures to prevent future tragedies. The lack of sufficient lifeboats, the ship's speed in icy waters, and the inadequate communication protocols were all identified as contributing factors. The disaster led to significant reforms in maritime safety regulations, including the establishment of the International Ice Patrol and the requirement for ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew. The survivors of the Titanic carried the weight of their experience for the rest of their lives. Many struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder, haunted by the memories of the night. Some dedicated their lives to commemorating the victims and sharing their stories with future generations. The Titanic disaster became a defining moment in history, a reminder of the fragility of human life and the unpredictable nature of the sea. The sinking of the unsinkable ship challenged the notion of human invincibility and served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overconfidence and complacency. The Titanic disaster has left an indelible mark on popular culture. Books, films, and documentaries have explored the story of the Titanic, capturing the public's fascination with the tragedy. The ship's wreckage, discovered in 1985, continues to be a source of ongoing research and exploration, providing new insights into the events of that fateful night. The Titanic story serves as a reminder of the human cost of tragedy. The loss of over 1,500 lives, including men, women, and children, represents a profound human tragedy. The stories of the survivors and the victims have touched the hearts of generations, inspiring compassion and empathy. The lessons learned from the sinking of the Titanic have led to significant improvements in maritime safety regulations, ensuring that such a tragedy is less likely to occur again. The International Ice Patrol, established in the wake of the disaster, continues to monitor iceberg activity in the North Atlantic, protecting ships from similar fates. The Titanic's story has become a symbol of human ambition, resilience, and the enduring power of hope. The Titanic's enduring presence in popular culture ensures that the lessons learned from the tragedy will continue to be shared and remembered for generations to come. The Titanic disaster revealed the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit. Acts of bravery and selflessness during the final hours demonstrate inherent goodness and resilience. Survivor stories continue to inspire and move us. The Titanic's story reminds us to cherish life and appreciate every moment. The Titanic will never be forgotten. Its legacy is a testament to the power of storytelling and remembering those who perished.